Now we will study the application of bandages to various parts of the body. Each bandage will be described in the 3 steps of fixing, rolling and finishing. The standard or universal methods of rolling these bandages are demonstrated. They may have to be slightly altered from patient to patient depending on the size and location of the wounds, constitution of the patient, and individual preferences. But try to understand the principles and aims of each bandage. Mainly, keep your attention on where to fix the bandage, the types of turns used to cover the dressing, how to finish the bandage, and what is the final result to be obtained. Finger bandages. This bandage is used whenever the injury or the wound over the finger is across the interphalangeal joints, because this maintains a position of extension. Start with 2 circular turns of a 1-inch bandage to fix the bandage above the wrist. Now pass the bandage obliquely across the back of the hand to the tip of the finger and take the finger to the base, each turn covering 2/3 of the previous turn. On reaching the base of the finger, return to the wrist across the back of the hand and repeat this figure of 8 for additional support. Wrist to the base of the finger and back. Then end with a circular turn around the wrist. Note that this bandage prevents flexion of the finger and splints it. If 2 or more adjacent fingers are involved, as in burns or crush injuries, each finger should be bandaged separately to avoid adhesions between the fingers. First, fix the bandage above the wrist with 2 circular turns. Come to the tip of the finger across the back of the hand and take spiral turns to cover the finger up to the base. Now come back to the wrist, go around the wrist and proceed to the next finger in a similar way. Come to the tip of the finger, then take spiral turns to cover the finger and the dressing, and on reaching the base, come back to the wrist to end with a circular turn. The nails and the tips of the fingers are kept exposed to check the finger circulation. For bandaging the tip of the finger, start over the palm of the hand, along the front of the finger, over the tip and along the back of the finger to the base. Keep the starting point fixed by the thumb of the left hand. At the base, turn the bandage to encircle the base of the finger, thus fixing the longitudinal turn. Now take spiral turns from the base to the tip and back to the base and end with a circular turn near the base. A well applied bandage will not slip, but for further fixation, a sticking plaster strip may be applied from the bandage to the palm of the hand, especially in children. To summarize, first take a longitudinal turn covering the tip, then take spiral turns from the base to the tip, and after the tip is well covered, end with a circular turn. Thumb bandages. Thumb bandages. With a 1-inch bandage, take 2 circular turns around the wrist to fix the bandage. Then pass the bandage across the back of the hand to the thumb and turn it around the tip of the thumb and then return to the wrist over the back of the thumb to make a figure of 8. Repeat the figure of 8 turns, each turn covering the proximal portion of the thumb and 2/3 of the previous turn, till the thumb is completely covered. Now this is the last figure of 8 covering the base of the thumb, and now the bandage will be ended with a circular turn around the wrist. This is the thumb spica bandage. It holds the thumb in moderate abduction and extension. Alternatively, the thumb may be bandaged like other fingers. Fix the bandage above the wrist. Come to the tip of the thumb across the back of the hand. Now cover the thumb with spiral turns from the tip to the base, and on reaching the base, come back to the wrist to finish with a circular turn. This is the last circular turn above the wrist. To summarize, fix above the wrist with 2 circular turns, come to the tip of the thumb, cover the thumb with spiral turns, and come back to the wrist to end. Bandage for the dorsum of hand. Use a 2-inch bandage. Hold the hand in pronation with the dressing on the top. Start obliquely between the thumb and the index finger. Go over the dressing around the wrist and bring it back to cross the first turn over the dressing. Thus the dressing will be fixed by a figure of 8. Now take 2 spiral turns around the palm and repeat the figure of 8 if necessary. After the dressing is fully covered, end with a straight turn around the wrist. To summarize, this bandage is a combination of spiral turns around the palm with figure of 8 to the wrist. Bandage for the wrist. The optimum position of rest for the wrist joint is in slight dorsiflexion, or the writing position. So the figure of 8 should cross the wrist on the dorsal side. Take a 2-inch bandage and take 2 circular turns above the wrist to fix the bandage. Now pass the bandage across the back of the hand, around the ulnar border, around the palm, and then across the dorsum again. Repeat this figure of 8 3 times. Around the palm, crossing dorsally, then around the wrist. Again crossing dorsally, around the palm, and back to the wrist. End with a circular turn around the wrist. Note that this bandage maintains a slightly dorsiflexed position of the wrist. This is the view of the completed bandage. In short, this bandage is fixed above the wrist, then 3 figure of 8s are rolled around the wrist and palm, crossing on the dorsum, and the bandage is ended above the wrist. Spiral bandage for the forearm. Take a 3-inch bandage and start near the wrist, proceeding proximally. Start with 2 circular turns to fix the bandage, and then start the spiral turns moving towards the elbow. Each turn should cover 2/3 of the preceding turn and should be parallel to it. Note again, each turn should cover 2/3 of the preceding turn and should be parallel to it. After the dressing is fully covered, end with a circular turn. This bandage has been rolled extra to cover the entire forearm only for the purpose of demonstration. This is the last straight circular turn which finishes the bandage. Reverse spiral bandage for the forearm. Take a 3-inch bandage, Start near the wrist and fix the bandage with 2 circular turns. Now bring the bandage up at a 30 degrees angle and reverse the direction of the bandage on the palmar aspect. Fix the upper edge of the bandage by the thumb of the left hand till the turn is completed. Pass the bandage around the back of the arm and up again at an angle of 30 degrees. Repeat the procedure till the entire dressing is covered. Watch how the bandage is turned and how the left thumb holds the turned edge of the bandage. The turning of the bandage and the thumb holding the turned bandage. The important point in this skillful bandage is to use uniform pressure throughout and turn the bandage at the same point every time. Since the bandage is turned each time, it holds better than a spiral bandage and it does not slip over a tapering area as on the forearm or leg. Watch how snugly it fits the forearm. Now the dressing is fully covered and the bandage will be ended with a circular turn. This is the circular turn to end the bandage. And see how beautiful the bandage looks if the bandage is turned at the same point every turn. Divergent spica bandage for elbow. Holding the elbow in comfortable flexion, start over the center of the joint. Make the second turn slightly above the first turn and the third turn below the first turn. Make 2 more alternate turns above and below, covering 2/3 of the previous turns. This is the third diverging figure of 8, crossing in front of the elbow so that the extension of the elbow is now restricted. Now end above the elbow with a straight turn. To summarize, start at the joint, then proceed to roll 3 figure of 8s crossing in front of the joint and end above the elbow with a straight turn. Ascending spica bandage for the shoulder. Start with an oblique turn on the upper arm and fix the bandage over the arm with 2 circular turns. Now pass the bandage across the back, around the axilla, front of the chest to the front of shoulder and arm. Now take a downward turn around the arm, covering 2/3 of the previous turn. The bandage will come out under the axilla, up over the shoulder and then again across the back and chest. Each turn will go higher on the arm and shoulder, covering 2/3 of the previous turn till the entire shoulder dressing is covered. The bandage has come back to the shoulder. It goes around the shoulder, covering 2/3 of the previous turn, and now end the bandage over the back or chest. Note the crossing lines ascending on the shoulder. Chest spiral bandage. Take a 6-inch bandage and cut about 4 feet length and keep it hanging over the left shoulder. Start rolling the bandage from the bottom of the chest and fix it there by 2 circular turns. Now take spiral turns from the bottom of the chest to the top, each turn covering 2/3 of the previous turn. These spiral turns can ascend up to the level of the axillary folds. But if unsupported, the bandage will become loose with chest movements and slip downwards. Now end the bandage at the level of the axilla and fix it there with adhesive strips. Here the upper limit of the bandage is reached. Now bring the lower free end of the bandage piece in front over the opposite shoulder and fix it to the other free end behind the neck. This will prevent the bandage from slipping downwards. Cruciform bandage for chest. Take a 6-inch bandage and start at the bottom of the chest. Take one circular turn to fix the bandage. Then take 1 or 2 spiral turns upwards, each covering 2/3 of the previous turn. When you reach near the axilla, take one turn over the left shoulder anteriorly, followed by a circular turn around the chest. Then take one turn over the right shoulder from behind, crossing the previous turn in front of the chest, hence the name cruciform bandage, and end the bandage with a horizontal turn. The turns over the shoulders prevent the bandage from slipping downwards. And this is the completed cruciform bandage for chest. Many-tailed bandage for chest. The many-tailed bandage consists of number 1, central square of flannel cloth 45 centimeters wide. Number 2, 5 tails on each side, 12 centimeters wide and 50 centimeters long, each tail overlapping the previous tail by 1/3. And number 3, 2 vertical tails to fix the bandage over the shoulders. Place the central square under the back of the patient and bring the 2 top, that is vertical tails, over the shoulders and down over the chest. Now bring the lowermost tail across the front of the chest at a slightly upward angle, and holding it there, bring the bottom tail of the opposite side to cover the end of the first tail. Now bring over alternate tails, each covering the preceding one firmly. If the tail is longer than required, as will happen in a thin patient, every time fold the end and tuck it slightly under the opposite side. The last tail should be brought straight across and fixed with a safety pin. The vertical tails are now turned up and fixed to the descending part of the tail with a safety pin, including the uppermost horizontal tail. The vertical tails will hang the bandage from the shoulders and prevent it from slipping downwards. An important advantage of the many-tailed bandage is that it can be tied with ease in a bedridden or recumbent patient. Breast bandage. Take a 6-inch bandage, start under the affected breast and take 2 circular turns around the chest. The bandage should move towards the opposite side in front of the chest. After taking 2 circular turns, bring the bandage obliquely over the breast dressing to the opposite shoulder, then down across the back to the starting point. Make alternate turns, one circular turn around the chest and one across the breast, covering 2/3 of the previous turn. Repeat till the breast is completely and firmly covered. This is the circular turn, which is rolled at a higher level, and then an oblique turn over to the opposite shoulder. With each turn, the bandage moves upwards on the breast, covering 2/3 of the previous turn. When the breast is completely covered, end with a circular turn around the chest. This is the view of the completed breast dressing. To summarize, fix the bandage around the chest under the breast. Then take alternate turns, one over the opposite shoulder and one horizontal till the dressing is covered completely. Thyroid bandage. Take a 4-inch bandage. Start in front of the neck from right to left and pass the bandage around the neck 2 times. This will fix the bandage and the dressing. Now pass it across the front of the chest to the left axilla. Then across the back, around the right axilla, back to the starting point. Repeat the figure of 8 around the neck, across the front of the chest, left axilla, around the back, right axilla, across the front of the chest and around the neck. At the end, finish the bandage in front of the chest. The bandage restricts extension of the neck and compresses the thyroid dressing. To summarize, fix the bandage around the neck, then roll 2 or 3 figures of 8 between neck and chest, crossing in front of the chest. Figure of 8 bandage for the clavicle. Instruct the patient to sit with a straight back and throw the shoulders back. First, roll a figure of 8 with a Gamgee bandage, looping around both shoulders and crossing on the back. Now take a 6-inch bandage, start on the back side and follow the same figure of 8. But every time as you pass the bandage around the shoulder, pull the shoulder backwards and roll the bandage tightly. The principle of clavicle bandage is to hold the shoulders braced back, which will separate the overlapping fracture ends of the clavicle. Watch how the bandage is pulled tightly. Now we will watch from the back side. See the direction of pull on the bandage after going round the shoulder and crossing of the bandage on the back side, which holds the shoulders braced back. Watch again the figure of 8 and the way the shoulder is pulled back tightly. The Gamgee bandage pads the shoulders and protects the skin from the pressure of the bandage. To complete the bandage, a sling is given to bear the weight of the arm by supporting the elbow. 3-sling bandage for the clavicle. For this bandage, 2 slings have to be prepared with cotton rolled into a large piece of gauze and then tied as a ring. Each hand is then passed through the sling and the slings are fitted on the shoulders with the knot on the back side. Now take a 4-inch bandage piece, make it double and pass it through each sling on the back side. Now tie it tightly. The patient should brace the shoulders back, and the more tight you tie, the more the shoulders will be retracted backwards. Tie a firm knot and cut the bandage ends. The clavicle bandages invariably become loose and need to be tightened every 4 or 5 days. The bandage will be completed by tying a sling to the affected side to support the elbow. Cuff and collar. First, place a Gamgee pad under the wrist to protect the skin from the pressure of the bandage. Then take a doubled 3-inch bandage piece and loop it around the wrist into a sliding knot by passing the free ends through the central loop. Now tie the ends of the bandage around the neck and tighten it till the elbow is flexed at 90 degrees. The cuff and collar provides rest to the elbow, forearm and arm. Note that the weight of the arm pulls down on the shoulder and upper arm. Triangular sling. One end of the triangular sling is placed over the opposite shoulder with the arm held flexed to 90 degrees. The other end of the sling is carried in front of the arm, around the neck and tied behind the neck. The base of the triangle should be beyond the tips of the fingers. The apex of the triangle is now neatly folded around the arm and fixed to the front with a safety pin. Note that the triangular sling lifts the elbow and bears the weight of the arm, thus relaxing the shoulders. Bandages for the abdomen. Many-tailed bandage. Place the square of the bandage posteriorly under the patient, keeping the lower border 1 inch below the level of anterior superior iliac spines. Now bring the lowermost tails across the front of the lower abdomen and cross it with the opposite lowermost tail. Thus alternately bring all the 5 tails of each side, each covering the preceding one firmly. Fold the extra length of the tail and carefully tuck it in. There is no vertical tail for abdominal binders as seen in chest binders. Bring the last tail straight forwards and fix it with a safety pin. This bandage is used to support laparotomy incisions except the lowermost suprapubic and inguinal regions which require spica dressings. The bandage may also be ended by tying a knot between the topmost tails. Hernia bandage. Hernia bandage is a spica bandage. With a 4-inch bandage, start obliquely from the anterior superior iliac spine, over the dressing, around the thigh, crossing itself over the dressing. Then go around the abdomen and back at the level of anterior superior iliac spine. These turns are repeated 3 times. Each time the bandage is rolled and crossed at a slightly higher level over the dressing. This is the second turn being completed. Now the third turn goes slightly higher around the thigh, crossing in the front, then around the abdomen and back. It is ended by tying with the beginning part or by taking a circular turn around the abdomen and fixing with adhesive plasters. In the lateral view, watch how the dressing is covered and compressed by the figures of 8, crossing in front of the dressing and rolled progressively higher. Now this is the third and last turn covering the top portion of the dressing. The second point to note is that while applying the bandage, the hip is kept slightly flexed by about 20 degrees, so that when the patient keeps the leg straight down, the bandage exerts pressure at the operation site. For a wound on the buttock, the patient is in lateral position. The bandage is started on the back side and the figure of 8 turns are rolled going around the thigh and then around the waist at the level of anterior superior iliac spine, crossing posteriorly over the dressing. The bandage is successively rolled at a lower level till the entire dressing is covered, usually with 3 figure of 8 turns. The crossing of the bandage posteriorly restricts the flexion of the hip and keeps the gluteal muscles lax. This bandage is particularly useful for incised gluteal abscesses. It is ended by tying with its starting point or by going around the abdomen and fixing with adhesive plaster. Scrotal bandage. With a 2-inch bandage, take a circular turn around the waist and tie a knot just to the left of the midline anteriorly to form the waistband. With this knot as the starting point, go around the scrotum, back to the waistband, turn around it and come again to the scrotum. Now, supporting the scrotum with the left hand, take circular turns as high on the scrotum as possible and sufficiently tight. After taking 2 or 3 circular turns, turn the bandage around a vertical band, go around the apex to the opposite side and turn around the other vertical band. To end, take circular turns around the base, tight enough to prevent the testis from slipping upwards. Watch again. The waistband, the vertical sling formed to hang the scrotum, then the circular turns around the base of the scrotum as high on the base as possible, then the turning of the bandage around the vertical bands, and ending the bandage with tight circular turns. And this is the final appearance of the completed scrotal bandage. T-bandage. T-bandage is made of flannel cloth or from a 4-inch cotton roller bandage. About 2 feet length of bandage is split longitudinally to form the waistband and the other 2 feet forms the perineal band. As seen on the left, the perineal band of the male bandage is split 2/3 to go around the scrotum. T-bandage is used for holding perineal dressings. One part is tied around the waist with the T-junction posteriorly in the midline, and then the vertical part is brought over the perineal dressing, holding the perineal dressing to be tied anteriorly to the waistband. This is the female T-bandage. In males, the perineal band is split and goes around the scrotum. The waistband is slipped under the patient and tied anteriorly. Then the perineal band is carried over the dressing and around the scrotum, and its tails are tied individually to the waistband on either sides.